All right, y'all. So today we got to talk about one of the ongoing situations in K-pop right now. We got to talk about this Matt Proxy situation because somehow this went from one recommendation to half of the K-pop industry catching strays. I might have exaggerated a bit. It wasn't half, but we gonna say it was half. Hey, y'all. This is Miss Neo back on What's New with Miss Neo. Now, if you missed it, let me catch you up. Chorus member Martin recommended one of Matt Proxy's songs to fans. Pretty normal. Artists shout out other artists all the time. But instead of saying thank you, Matt basically said, I don't like your music. He didn't actually say that, by the way, y'all. Like, he said it a little bit more ruder, but for the sake of this video, that's what he said. And then he started criticizing Cordis. Like, okay, you don't have to like K-pop, and you don't have to like Cordis. You don't even have to appreciate somebody recommending your music. Although you should. But somehow, it didn't stop there. The conversation turned into K-pop steals black culture. Then it became the whole industry is manufactured. Then somehow Stray Kids got dragged into it. Then Longshot got dragged into it. And before we knew it, this wasn't even about Cordis no more. It was about every K-pop fan on the internet arguing with everybody else. Now here's where I think people stopped listening to each other. Because two conversations started happening at the exact same time. One side was saying, black music has influenced K-pop for decades. And they're not wrong. Hip-hop, R&B, street fashion, dance, AAVE. Black culture has had a massive influence on modern K-pop. But then, the other side heard something completely different. They heard, every idol is fake. Every song gets stolen. None of these artists deserve success. And that's where people started getting defensive. Because there's a difference between criticizing an industry and then insulting the actual artists inside of it. Then, Matt Proxy doubled down. Instead of keeping the conversation on Cordis, he started posting about Stray Kids, changing profile pictures, posting old controversial photos, making it feel less like a discussion and more like internet beef. Now, another reason so many people weren't exactly rushing to defend Matt is because this isn't the first time that he said something cuckoo. Over the years, people online have resurfaced past posts, interactions, and statements that they believe are disturbing. Some critics have accused him of excusing or minimizing extremely serious issues involving sexual violence and child exploitation. Those are serious allegations, and they're part of the reason why a lot of people say they already had concerns about him before this K-pop situation even happened. Whether you agree with those criticisms or not, it's important to separate those broader controversies from the original conversation with Cordis. At the same time, they do help explain why so many people viewed his comments through a much more critical lens. And that's where I personally think the conversation lost the plot. Because if your goal is educating people about black influence in music, dragging random groups that weren't involved is not really helping your point. It's just making more fandoms angry. Now let's talk about Longshot. Longshot wasn't the reason this even started. They weren't the artists who recommended his music, yet they still got caught up in discussions online because once fan wars begin, everybody starts catching strays. And that's honestly one of my biggest problems with K-pop discourse today. Not even just this discourse, any discourse. Nobody stays on topic. One thing happens with one group, suddenly we're bringing up BTS, then we bringing up Stray Kids, then we bringing up EXO, and etc. Y'all get it. Like, can we focus on the topic that's at hand right now? K-pop absolutely has conversations that are worth having. The industry has flaws. It has unhealthy standards, cultural appropriation, and those discussions do matter. But if your criticism is turning into provoking fandoms and making the conversation about yourself, don't be surprised when people stop listening to your message. Because delivery matters. A good point can get buried underneath bad behavior. And I think that's exactly what happened here. Instead of everyone discussing black influence in K-pop, the internet spent days arguing about Matt Proxy himself. So nobody really won. And this is not the first time that Martin from Cordis has gotten himself in this situation. Is it his fault? Absolutely not. You want to know whose fault I think it is? I think it's y'all's fans' fault. Because all Martin is doing is recommending these artists. He's not doing anything other than that. It is y'all fans that are reaching out to these other artists and telling them, like, oh, so and so likes your music and this and that. I think that we should not be doing that. Why are we seeking validation from these other artists for your K-pop boy, like, or girl? That's not what we should be doing. Take the music recommendation, listen to it if you want, listen to it if you don't. Because 9 times out of 10, the situation is not going to end well. And, that's unfortunate. You would think that all artists would appreciate the people who listen to their music, but that's not the case for everybody. But I noticed that is a common problem with K-pop stans. Y'all always seek validation. Y'all don't even realize that you're seeking validation. And I think that's the problem here. But if y'all have anything to add, or like, I just want to know what y'all think on this whole situation, because when I tell y'all, it's a straight fiasco. Like, it's just so many things happening in this situation on Twitter. It's crazy. Like, you have different fandoms arguing with each other over this. It's just a lot going on. And it's all because of this one dude. This one guy. But again, if y'all have any questions or anything to add, just comment that down below. I'm going to keep bringing y'all what's new. I'm going to keep bringing y'all the tea. Why? Because there's always something new with Miss Neo.